Hi there, guys. Welcome to another day of accountability. Welcome to another day of accountability. Prior to talking about the past days and today's dealings, I'd like to talk about self-improvement or discipline and its superficiality. I've noticed that there are different ways of approaching, per se, discipline or self-improvement. I'll just use them interchangeably. And I've noticed because I've been on this journey, my moods and influences and motives, as well as the longevity and habits and traits that I've managed to adapt to, fall into, fall out of with each mission. And with that being said, I guess there's been a kind of superficiality that I've noticed when it comes to approaching discipline or self-improvement, especially when, per se, let's just say I'm doing a dopamine detox, and after a while I'm only gonna go in harder, or things will pretty much neutralize, but there is no long-term practice, which for me as of late has been pretty questionable. You feel me? And actually made me notice that, oh, there's a superficial element to these certain things. You get me? Besides for industry stuff, that's a different topic. But just in the way we approach, I've noticed that, okay, let's just say let's just say for now, three types of ways of approaching being disciplined. First off, you could be in a specific institution, right, that provides external influences in order for you to be disciplined. Hence, you will rise up and you're amongst people who are aiming to be disciplined or something. You can see where people are bad, people are good, people are excelling, and people are digressing. So, at least, those external influences help you master and cultivate that sense of discipline in order to reach a certain destination, right? But even then, it isn't guaranteed that you'll carry on the practices long term. Cool, there's that one. Secondly, obviously, there's life circumstances that force you to be there and to excel, which you don't have to think much about. It's you against the wall, it's death ground, you're doing this. Alright, it's cool. And then there's a third one, which I've noticed is my one, where nothing is really pushing you to be disciplined. Life is good. Life isn't here where it's caught up and it's like, okay, cool, man. You're between a rock and a hard place. It's more so you're chilling. Life is good. Life is okay. But the question is, for how long? You know? And I guess the problem is that besides for being motivated, I used to have a teenage type of motivation towards things. It was a whole new world. Don't you dare close your eyes. A new exciting point of view. No one to tell us no or where to go or say we're only dreaming. You feel me? It was that great. But as an adult, after a while, and the energy kind of subsides, and you can't really fool yourself into doing all nighters. For what reason? Because of motivation. Come on. you know, the hormones aren't pumping as much, your energy is there, but I just can't fool myself anymore or just get caught up in vibes or just do things for the sakes of doing it. You get me? Or to prove a point to self. I've proven all the points. And I've noticed in this environment, this is where you need a deeply rooted sense of, I don't know, character or backbone, or you really need to dig your roots into a certain practice. Personally, for me, it's my relationship with God, and being like, okay, let's go all in on my relationship with God and seek Him and take my practices and perspectives and narratives real serious. Hence, obviously, prayer has been it, and dedicating myself to that. as my fundamental practice, because I've noticed that within the third circumstance, right, of per se being disciplined because you legit choose it, you're not pushed to. It's one of those things where, yeah, hey, you need something, you need a spine before you could even grow anything else and branch out, because when all is lost, when all is said and done and the world is crumbling, I personally believe that if you have a solid practice and a solid relationship, then you're good, you're set. You feel me? You could always grow out again as long as you're still alive. And as long as what it is that you do is connected to your livelihood, you get me? Your sense of being and spirituality. So I've noticed that without that, then things are superficial. Not that the first and the second method are superficial, but I've noticed personally that, per se, let's just say this week I'm practicing sleep hygiene, right? Obviously, I'd like to practice going straight into sprints, right? And maybe even a 4-hour work week, or the slight edge method, or different study methods such as the Pomodoro technique. But I personally have noticed that first off, I needed to get my devotion down right and do it the way I'm supposed to do it. Cultivate that sense of discipline. Prior to that, obviously, I did gym. Gym is gym. You get me? We're not missing any days. So that's cool. But in that equation, it's like, okay, what's the next thing? I need to set up, after setting up my sleep hygiene and my sleeping times and getting the right amount of hours and practicing that over a long period of time, while I'm doing that, then I need to make sure that I have solid blocks of time for working, so that these disciplines are like puzzle pieces and it isn't as superficial as would be if I were to just jump straight in to the Pomodoro technique. But meanwhile, it's like I haven't even given those blocks of time, those defining discipline where this discipline holds up that discipline. You're moving from one discipline to another. These types of solid spaces, which I've noticed that, hey man, if I just let time flounder and I don't fill the time in, then that's where the problem really is. That's where the superficiality is, just doing things just to do them because it sounds good. But it's like, where does it fit into your life? Where is the necessity? Hence, I guess this is an evolutionary process and it isn't superficial, because it's like I said, am I just being disciplined in order to go and play with the kids at the end of the day? Because it be like that sometimes. It legit be like that. Or am I being disciplined because I want to fall in love with this? This is a sense of life. I understand its long-term practices, in order to sustain me for the best. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and just continuing at this rate and moving correctly so that at least things make sense for decades and decades. You get me? Because definitely falling off should not be an option. But nonetheless, that was that. So what did I get up to yesterday and today? I've just been trying to sort out XAMPP, deleted XAMPP, tried to install WordPress again. Localhost wasn't working. Localhost is working right now, but not really. Oh no, my PHP my admin wasn't working. Now PHP my admin is working, but localhost still ain't doing the things. So tomorrow we'll see if this update install was perfect. On the other hand, yesterday my data was depleted, then it wasn't working. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie, it's been a little bit of a problem. But nonetheless, this is life as we know it. I was like, hey man, I've spent too much time on setup. Next week, one of two things are gonna happen. It's either I'm gonna install Windows via via a VM or dual booted with Windows, one of the two, so that at least my setup is far easier and I can get straight to the job. Because no man, I can't be struggling like this and I ain't even doing work. So yeah, that's that. We'll see how things go tomorrow. Aim of the game is to wake up at 4:30. Yesterday I woke up at 4:30, slept at like 9:45. So at least getting in that time, you feel me? And yeah, progressing so that at least holistically things make sense. Hopefully tomorrow I can squat 130, but my ribs have been hurting as of late, so I'm not gonna push it too much, or else I know that this is gonna be a problem. It even hurts when I press it right now. Cause yeah, we're trying to do this for longevity, eh? I ain't even gonna lie to you. So with that being said, thank you for sitting through my chats.